What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Nutrition Talks with Tyson the Trainer. I am your host, Tyson the Trainer. Obviously, for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see that I'm holding my mic here today because I don't really have anywhere to put it. Actually, I'm just going to put it on the ground right here, so hopefully you guys can still hear me for the most part. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you for those of you who have been listening or have gone back and listened, or for those of you who are new to the podcast, because I actually haven't thanked you guys in a while, to be honest. And there are a lot of people who are liking, sharing everything, and I just really appreciate it. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate those of you who do listen to me and listen to the advice that I give. Because at the end of the day, this is all free advice, right? And I don't do this to be like, if they get a little bit, then they're going to want to work with me, because at the end of the day, there's only so many people I can work with. And I was saying this on my stories the other day, I have had people that have messaged me. This lady messaged me the other day and she's like, hey, I've lost 20 kilos last year because I listened to what you say on Instagram. Never heard from this lady before. And she's just been one of those silent followers who puts in things into work. And, that's something that's quite important, because again, anything I give out, all the information I give out for free will help you get the results you want. It's not rocket science, I do not hold any secrets that I have for my clients that I share in publicly. Honestly, anything I share publicly, my clients have access to. Okay, so the calorie calculator that I use for my clients, I share that on my stories, and I share that as a free download of my emails. Right, the way I track their progress, exactly the spreadsheet that I've given out to people, So at the end of the day, it'll have your weight, weekly weight. So it's all about weekly average. So it has your weight, it has your measurements, it has everything you need. And then we know each week how you're progressing. All the things I talk about on, your daily habits and stuff like that, everything I talk about publicly is applied to my clients, right? The difference between my clients and people online, people getting free information, there's a few different things. One of it is just having someone tell you exactly what to do. So I give away free information, and some people will utilize that and some people won't, because they feel like they're still kind of lost, and they listen to a lot of different people, So when someone pays me, they're just going to be like, all right, well, coach is telling me what to do. I'm going to follow what exactly coach tells me to do, okay? Secondly, it takes away subjectivity. So I look at people objectively. So when someone freaks out or anything like that, I come to them with a clear head. So it takes away the overthinking side of things, okay? I also organize all the information for them in one, in a organized fashion, I guess. So they know, they have things they can read, they have videos they can watch, they get emailed every few days. So it's about more organization, accountability, and I guess just, being told exactly what to do. So if you have that in you to do it yourself, just follow the fucking free advice I give, I'm not giving it out just for fun and to be like, oh, well, I'm only going to give them a piece of the puzzle and they have to figure the rest out themselves. I literally give out everything for free, okay? Because again, there's only so many people I can work with at once. And so it's why not just help as many people as I can? Because that will in turn just make me more of a popular coach if I get people results for free. And if you're a coach listening to this, give away shit for free. Because all the information's out there anyways, right? If people are committed and they want to go and find free information, they absolutely can, or they can apply that and use it, But they don't. So it's give your information out for free regardless. Because those of you who are listening, some of you have applied my free information and some of you have been fucking lazy and done nothing with it, right? Yet you still complain about not seeing the results, about not doing this, about not doing that. And it's it's all there. You just have to apply it. And I think that's also where coaching comes down to, for a lot of people, is just putting your money where your mouth is, all right? Because when we take something seriously, we will pay for it, okay? People do not value free. Some people do, a lot of people don't. I got a free coffee yesterday. I didn't even drink the whole fucking coffee. I don't even know why. I love coffee, but I just didn't drink the whole thing. So it's I'll drink it later. And I forgot about it. And so this is the thing that we need to think about. There's a reason people who pay for coaching get results. Obviously, getting told what to do, having a set plan, all that stuff is important. But a lot of it's just putting money in towards something, because people parting with money. Money is a very important thing to a lot of us, right? Especially a lot of us who don't have a lot of money. When you put skin in the game, you're fucking going to do something about it, right? Imagine paying for a holiday and then not going. You'd be like, I just wasted $4,000 on not going for a holiday. And you'd be fucking mad, right? I don't even think you wouldn't not go, to be honest. Yet, if that holiday was given to you for free and it was at a time where for some reason you couldn't go, you'd be like, oh, I missed out on it. It is what it is. That sucks, and it might hurt a little bit, but it's no loss for you. And that's why a lot of people just don't get results, because they don't put skin in the game, And I have 3 coaches. I have an online trainer who does my programming, right? I could do my own programming easily, but I cannot be fucked to do my own programming. I've got an online nutrition coach, so she keeps me accountable with my food and helps me with my sports performance side of things, because I want to be better at being sports performance. And even though I know, I would rather have someone telling me what to do. And also I have a boxing coach who I see 3 times a week, right? So I could box, like obviously I could see him once a week and do boxing on myself, but to get better at something that I enjoy and something that I want to be good at, I put money in the game, because I know I won't box or do the technique stuff that he wants me to do. So I pay the money for it. I know that I won't use, I haven't tested my sweat rates before, even though I know I should, because my nutrition coach is now making me do it. And so it just comes down to, again, putting skin in the game for a lot of people. And it's not essential, you don't have to, but like, if you're not seeing results and you keep doing the same fucking shit over and over again, maybe you just need to put some skin in the game, all right? Either that, or just fucking put in the information into action. Literally that simple, all right? But that's not today's topic, haha. Today's topic, we are talking about why eating more food is better for you, right? Because everyone's always talking about dieting, everyone's always talking about losing body fat, everyone's always talking about blah, 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 I'm on the fucking shreds and doing this and doing that. And I want to turn in the opposite direction. Because a lot of the people who I train, I do train overweight people and, you know, heavier individuals, people who want to lose body fat, but a majority of the people I train are females who are relatively healthy body fats who have issues with their food. Okay? And a lot of them are trying to eat as little as possible because they're not used to it. So when they come to me, the first thing we do is we increase their food intake. Right? Because this has so many benefits that I want to cover today. And, you know, like a lot of people that have problems with their food literally fix the issue with food once they start to eat enough. It's like night and day difference. Hey Tyson, stop binging. Hey Tyson, stop having food focus. Hey Tyson, I'm doing this. I'm feeling better. My hair is not full. All these things that are beneficial just because we are fueling ourselves with the right amount of food. And that's what I want to fucking dive deep on today. Okay? So, firstly, eating more food in general and eating more calories, right? You guys, for those of you who don't know, I have an online calorie calculator that I have created for myself and for everyone else. Sorry, like I've created it. So basically, I put a concept in from a guy named my mentor named Martin McDonald, who's someone who I did a few courses through, and I was following him, and he helped me figure out everyone's BMR, right? So this is something that he uses, and he's a very smart man who is very educated, and I did a course through him, which made me a nutritionist, so I listened, right? So his equation for BMR is for males, 24 times their body weight in kilograms, and then for females is 22 times their body weight in kilograms. So females burn a little bit fewer calories on average than males, you know? It's just because males, you know, different. Males are larger, males have more testosterone, males usually have a bigger, I was going to say circumference, but a bigger build in general, and we just burn more calories in general, right? Females are smaller, they burn fewer calories in general. So that's why we do 24 for males times their body weight in kilograms, and then 22 for females in kilograms. So just to give an example, if you've got a 100 kilo male and a 100 kilo female, 100 kilo male's BMR is 2,400 calories a day, and a female's BMR is 2,200 calories a day, okay? When I say BMR, that's just them. If I was sitting on the couch doing nothing all day, I would burn 2,400 calories a day if I was 100 kilos, all right? And if you're a female, I would burn 2,200 calories a day if I was a female. And a lot of females would be like, 2,200 calories, that's a lot. Yes, if you are a heavier individual, it is a lot. Now, I use that method. There are heaps of different, there's not heaps actually, there's like 3 for the most part that people will use, right? And these are all equations that you can look up online and stuff like that. But the way Martin McDonald went through this, you know, the way he added all of those up, so he added the Harris-Benedict, Mifflin, and the Cunningham equations, you add them all up, then he just figured out what the average was, and he figured out the average for it to be 24 for males and 22 for females. And it's pretty bloody close. So if you add up all the other 3 equations, the Harris, the Mifflin, and the Cunningham, and then you look at what those are for your BMR, and then you do 24 times your body weight, you're going to get relatively close, okay? And again, it's not 100% accurate, but it's fucking close. And I have not had anyone who have given these calories, I'm going to tell you to, gain body fat, ever. Have they gained weight? Yes, but it's not body fat, all right? Now, again, there are going to be outliers, and some people will potentially gain, but guess what? You gain for a week or 2, and then you just reduce the calories a little bit to fix it up. It's like you are not going to gain an exceptional amount of body fat in a week or two if the calorie is a little bit higher estimated, okay? Right, so we've got our BMR there, okay? So again, 2,400 for a male if you're 100 kilos and 2,200 for a female if you're 100 kilos. So basically that means for every hour you're alive as a male, you're burning your body weight in calories. So every hour you burn 100 calories to on your ass. For a female, every hour you're burning, what is it, like 90 calories, give or take? I'm assuming so. It's close, right? And so from there, we then add in our activity factor. Now again, if you do this online, or you go and see a coach and they do this, they're gonna put this in a little online calculator, you know, because there's heaps of them out there, and it's gonna ask you, is your job sedentary, lightly active, moderately active, or heavy laborious, I think it's gonna say, right? So you got like 3 or 4 things to pick from. Do you work out 2 times a week? Do you work out 3 times a week? All right, click that. What's your height? What's your sex? What's your weight? What's your age? Okay. They ask you all these things. Yeah, like, okay, sedentary, right? So you're like, oh yeah, I work a sedentary job, but you're doing 10,000 steps a day. That's not sedentary, okay? I work out 3 days a week and I do a sedentary job. It's gonna fucking underestimate your calories, right? My way is a lot, I'm gonna like just say, it's a lot more accurate than that bullshit, all right? Because your calorie burn in general, your daily energy expenditure is going to be determined by your BMR and your overall daily activity, okay? So when you look at all these, like, you know, you'll see these little graphs and tables. It'll be like BMR uses the most, and then TEE, which is thermic effective food, which I've covered in another podcast, uses like a tiny amount, which we don't account for because thermic effective food is, thermic effective food is like basically nothing for the most part. It takes energy to digest food, but you don't have to, like, do not try and fucking calculate that, right? Then it's like your TEF, so your thermic effective food. Then it's like your NEAT, your non-exercise activity factor, which is your steps and all your incidental activity. Then it's your exercise activity, and it's got like all these tiny things, right? But like the biggest one is your BMR. And for the most part, that can be true, right? But NEAT is extremely underrated for burning calories and using calories, okay? And this is why I use steps as the metric, because it's much, much easier to gauge and much more accurate to just know how active you are, okay? If you are doing 10,000 steps, and I know you're doing 10,000 steps Monday to Sunday, I can guarantee you my accuracy of guessing your calories is gonna be much higher than some bullshit online calculator that's asking you, what's your job? How many times do you work out a week? You know, it's fucking stupid, okay? So why would you not wanna choose more accuracy? And this is where people freak out, because when it's accurate, they're usually higher calories than you think, okay? So again, I know I talked about this on another podcast, but I'm gonna cover it here. So for every 2,000, so you've got your BMR, right? Again, if you're a male, 2,400 calories. If you're 100 kilos, female, 2,200 calories. Just do it real quick. Open up your phone while you listen to this. Open up your calculator, put in your body weight in kilograms, multiply it by 22 if you're a female or 24 if you're a male. Cool, you know your BMR, okay? Now, let's look at steps, right? This is where I've come up with my own little thing for steps. Don't ask me how I figured this out. I can't remember how I did, but it's been incredibly accurate. I think because I started off with, someone was saying like an activity factor of a multiplier of 1.5 is like 10,000 steps, right? And I was like, oh, I wonder how they got that. And then I was like, oh, well then what would I just did math real quick. So I was like, 1.5 is 10,000 steps, and then like, what would 1.4 be? And then I was like, oh, it's like 8,000 steps, and then 1.3 would be 6,000 steps, and then 1.2 would be 4,000 steps, and then 1.1 would be 2,000 steps. And I was like, oh, okay. That actually works out quite well. And that's just basically how I did it, because I remember someone saying about, 10,000 steps is a multiplier of 1.5, right? And it seemed to be quite accurate. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll just do math and we'll sort this out. And so this is what I've been doing the whole time. And every client who I give their calories to, it is much higher than they think. But guess what? They're able to sustain their body fat levels, their energy level. They feel better. They maintaining their body weight overall. Like, you're just in a much better place because you're eating more food, okay? So again, let's say you got to figure out what your average step count is for the day, but also the week, okay? Because some days you might do 12,000, some days you might do 8,000. let's just say you're doing, 12,000, 8,000, 12,000, 8,000, okay? So we look at 7 days, right? We add up all those steps, and let's say it gets to 70,000, okay? Then you divide it by 7, because you've done 7 days of steps, and then you get your average of 10,000 steps, give or take a day, okay? So then you would get your BMR, that answer, multiply by 1.5. Okay, if it's 8,000 steps a day, it's 1.4. If it's 6,000 steps a day, it's 1.3. If it's 4,000 steps a day, it's 1.2. If it's 2,000 steps a day, it's 1.1. Okay, if you're doing like 4,500 steps, okay, or you're doing 5,000. Let's say you're doing 5,000. You're not doing 4,000. You're not doing 6,000. So then it's just 1.45. All right. So it's again like and if it's 7,000, it's 1.35. If it's 9,000, it's 1.45. Right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? So like 1.4. For 8,000, 1.45 for 9,000, 1.5 for 10,000. Do you know what I'm saying? All right? It's just really easy to kind of go through that. And again, 11,000 steps, 1.55. 12,000 steps, 1.6. 13,000 steps, 1.65. 14,000 steps, 1.7. 15,000 steps, 1.75. 16,000 steps, 1.8. 17,000 steps, 1.85. 18,000 steps, 1.9. 19,000 steps, 1.95. 20,000 steps, 2.0. Okay, so figure out what yours is. Go, do it. You better be doing it. I'm not fucking around here. Do it. All right, so then we've got our number. Okay, so female, 22 times her body weight. She gets an answer. She does 10,000 steps a day. She multiplies by 1.5. She's gonna look at that real quick. If I'm gonna pull up my calculator right now, let's just do this. Let's say you're a 65 kilo female. 65 kilo female times 22 times 1.5. 2,145 calories. All right, now look at this. 2,145 calories. Do not eat 2,145 fucking calories. Do not get so obsessive that you think that 2,145 needs to be the exact amount of calories. Round it up, 2,150. Cool? If it's over 50 calories, if it's like 2,157, if it's 2,163, if it's 2,180 something, round it up to 2,200, okay? If it's lower than 50, if it's lower than 30, round it down. If it's higher than 30, round it to 50. You know what I'm saying? So if it's 2,135, round it to 2,150. If it's 2,127, lower it to 2,100, okay? Because it's fucking 27 calories. You can live without 27 calories, okay? Or just go more. Because again, it's, if I've got 2,145 and I go to 2,150, 5 extra calories is gonna do fuck all because the body changes every single day. Okay? Every single day the body is changing. Are you sitting in aircon today? Are you sweating harder today? Are you colder today and chilly and trying to warm yourself up? Are you doing a few hundred steps extra today? Are you there's so many different factors out there. So it's like I just round it to either 50s or to the 0 to the 100 mark, right? So if it's like between 0 and 30, I lower it down to 0. If it's between 30 and 50, I up it to 50. If it's above 50, it's above 60, I just ramp it up to the next 100. Because again, 40 or 50 extra calories a day in a maintenance phase will do nothing. And you might as well eat as much as you can to maintain your weight. The thing I want to get across here to you guys is stop trying to eat as little as possible to avoid gaining weight and start trying to eat as much as possible to maintain your current weight. Why the fuck we will not want to do that is what blows me away. Oh, Tyson, you said my calories are 2,150. That seems quite high. I'm only on 1,800 and I'm maintaining. Well, fucking eat more and get to enjoy more food. Everyone's got this scarcity mentality. Oh my God. That's so much food. What if I get fat? This always happens, right? It's always telling people, yes, it's literally the same conversation each time. Oh my God, that's so much food. Can I really eat that much? No, I'm just wanting everyone to fucking gain weight so they cause an issue. That's my reputation on the line that I'm telling people to do this shit. If you listen to what I say and you gain body fat, how does that make me look? It makes me look like a fucking idiot, doesn't it? So why would I do that, right? I do the same thing to my clients. So if I give them that and it makes them gain weight and their goal is weight loss, well then I've just shot myself in the foot, haven't I? And it's going to ruin their trust with me. So trust me, again, take the fucking advice and utilize it, right? Now, a lot of you may calculate this and be like, all right, this is high. What am I going to, I'm freaking out here. Just do it. Just do it for a week. And like I said before, do not go off your fucking weight. Your weight is going to go up, all right? Your weight is going to go up because you have more food in your stomach. Your weight is going to go up because you have more muscle glycogen, so more carbs in your muscles, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. Carbs in your muscles is a good thing. You're going to go up because you're more hydrated overall. Your weight will go up, but guess what's going to happen? Your measurements are not going to go up, all right? Maybe 1 centimeter everywhere. But again, like, you guys really need to fucking stop obsessing about body fat gain. If you ate extra for 1 week and your weight went up, do you actually think you would gain that much body fat in 1 fucking week? Like, you guys don't understand, right? Trying to build muscle takes a long time to build muscle. If you're a female, it takes even longer because you've got less testosterone. Okay? So with that being said, same thing with body fat. Body fat is actually accumulated quite easily. But in saying that, in 1 week of an adjustment of your diet, if you eat more, you will not gain noticeable body fat. No one's going to look at you and be like, oh my God, are you eating more food this week? Like, fucking hell, man. And that actually this should have solidified this during Christmas time when all of you, not probably all of you, most people listening would have overeaten a little bit, right? And you're probably up some water weight, okay? So, and then guess what? You tighten it back up and the water weight came off, all right? I was 4 kilos heavier in Christmas. All I fucking did was tighten up my diet that week after Christmas and I lost the 4 fucking kilos, okay? So again, do your weight, do your measurements, all right? Follow what I'm telling you. Now, the reason you guys want to be able to, oh, sorry, one more thing before I go ahead. Anyone going to ask me about workouts? Oh, but I do 3 days a week. Does that include? Yes. Oh, but I do 5 days of CrossFit. Is that included? Yes. Okay. CrossFit, burning some more calories. So you're probably underestimating, to be honest. Anything that is counted as steps. If you're wearing your step tracker and you're doing reps in the gym and you're working out regularly so it's not CrossFit, it's not F45, it's nothing like that. If you're regularly working out, 6 exercises, 4 to 5 sets of each exercise, 3 to 4 sets of each exercise, an hour to an hour and a half long, and you're working on muscle gain, you're not going to burn that much extra calories. So do not factor in, what about weight training? This is why we use steps. When I'm doing exercise, when I'm doing shoulder press or I'm doing bench press, my watch is probably going to count it as a few reps, as a few steps, right? It is the equivalent of walking a few steps, okay? So if you get another 2,000 steps in the gym, it's 2,000 steps. Do not worry about adding in extra workout calories burned, all right? Just to fucking clarify. Cool? Okay, let's move on. So now you know how much you need to eat to maintain your weight. If the estimate is lower than you currently are on and you're able to maintain on a higher amount of calories, happy days, stay on the higher calories, okay? Remember, the goal is to eat as much food as possible to maintain your weight, okay? Why? Well, let's talk about all the benefits of eating enough to actually maintain your weight. Firstly, you're going to be in something called a equal energy balance, right? You're going to have enough food coming in and going out. This food is going to be utilized correctly, which means you're going to have more fuel for your workouts. So you're going to be able to push harder in your workouts. When you can push harder in your workouts, you can gain more muscle mass, okay? So if everyone listening here, most of you want to tone muscle, gain muscle, lose body fat, this is going to help because you're going to have more energy to push in the workout. You're also going to have enough calories to recover from the workout and to help with muscle building, okay? More fuel, like more food in means more fuel, means more intensity. Yes? Does that make sense? So that's the first reason. Performance is improved in every aspect. Cardio performance, weight performance, walking, you probably have more fucking spring in your step. Waking hours, you're going to feel more alert, more happy, more focused, better overall, because you're eating enough for energy balance, okay? Energy balance is key. Secondly, energy availability, okay? Energy availability means you have enough calories to fuel your workout, but also for the rest of your daily activities. Again, if it's walking or whatever it is, like you have enough calories overall to be able to do the things that your body needs to do, okay? Because what happens, let's say you've guessed, again, we're going back to this thinking up. You're at 2150 calories. Currently, you're at 1800 maintaining your weight. And you're like, oh, but Tyson said I can eat 2100 to maintain my weight, but I'm maintaining my weight here. Won't I gain body fat? All that's happened is that your metabolism has adapted down to meet the 1800. So basically what your body is trying to do is to use every little bit of energy it can from the calories you give it. So your body is more efficient, all right? And if your body is more efficient with the calories, it's trying to stretch that 1 calorie to do as much as it can, then obviously you're going to maintain your weight, because your body's only going to work with what it can work with, all right? It's the same as like, if, let's say a bricklaying company, for example. If a bricklaying company needs 1,000 bricks, all right, but it only gets 800 bricks, and they're like, well, this is all we have allocated for you guys. We don't have any more. They're going to try and do the best they can with those 800 bricks, okay? But it's not going to look like it should unless it had 1,000 bricks, right? So it's like, all right, well, we only have 800. Let's try and do the best we can with 800. The calories are the same. The body's the same. All right, well, we only have this much coming in. Let's try and do the best we can with this much coming in, okay? If you give it the actual food it needs, right, the body's like, holy shit, we have plenty of food here. Let's allocate it to everything we need to. Let's utilize the extra calories to have a higher chance of gaining muscle mass, to have a higher chance of recovering, because the body does not want to gain muscle, okay? It's not our focus here. The body is to store body, like the goal of the body is to reproduce, right? So sex hormones are going to be an important thing. And then also gaining body fat for times of shortage, which we don't have anymore, but it's still, at the end of the day, and just to live in general, okay? The body's not like, oh man, we need to get jacked. Like that's not the goal. The goal of our genes is to be like, we need to reproduce and we need to store fat for when there's famine, okay? We don't have famine anymore, but that's how our body is, okay? That's just evolution. So with that being said, if you are training regularly, all right, if you are consistently pushing harder, and if you have extra calories left over, after all your bodily functions are taken care of, right, and after everything's doing what it needs to do in the body and it has extra calories, it's like, hey, we've got extra calories. We could store them as body fat, right, if you were in a calorie surplus, if you're in a high calorie surplus, or we could use this for things that are going to be beneficial for the body. Because again, muscle recovery is like low on the totem pole for the importance of the body, all right? Gaining muscle is low on the totem pole. So it's like, I'm not gonna say it's the last thing the body's gonna want to do, but it's like pretty low what the body's gonna want to do. The body's gonna want to focus on living first, looking after your sexual health, because we need to reproduce. And if it has excess calories, it will store as body fat, okay? But we're giving it a reason to grow muscle. And now we're giving it even more of a reason to grow muscle, to recover muscle, to just feel better, because we have extra fuel, okay? So literally, the more food you can eat to maintain your weight, the better everything is for you. I hope that makes sense, okay? So if you really want the highest chance of gaining muscle, again, not getting bigger, just gaining muscle, toning, repairing, all those things, eat as much food as you can. Okay, it's so beneficial for you, because again, every time the body now has okay, we were living off 1,800 calories, we now have an extra 450 calories, so 350 calories a day. What are we going to do with all these extra calories? Let's use it for energy. Let's use it for repair. Let's use it for growth. Let's use it for all these things, because we don't have to be as what's the word? Thrifty. We don't have to be as thrifty, right? It's like getting a bigger budget for work. Okay, your boss is like, oh, you can only spend $200 at the work Christmas party this year. Oh, the boss is like, oh, you can actually spend $3K at the work Christmas party this year. Okay, fucking sweet, $3K. Let's have some fun. Let's get some extra things that we just can have, because we have the money, right? The same thing with the body. Let's make some gains, or let's recover faster, because we've got the calories. We don't need to be as scarce anymore. That's literally how it is in the body with the extra fuel. Okay. You become more inefficient, which means you have a higher body heat, and which means you'll expend extra calories just for the sake of expending extra calories, okay? Because the body's like, oh, we have extra now, we don't need all this, get it away. So you might excrete more, you might burn it off with, again, sitting around, you might tap more, you might fidget more, you might do steps. Like, the body will find extra ways to expend that extra energy, okay? You'll get better sleep. Because when we are in a calorie deficit, our sleep gets shitty. Why does our sleep get shitty? Because the body is like, oh man, we're dying. Literally the body's like, we're fucking dying. We're losing energy stores. We need energy stores. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night. You're going to be hungry. We're going to want you to wake up and go for food. Like, the body's like, man, if we're deprived, wake the fuck up and go and look for food right now. That's why people have shit sleeps. That's why we don't get as much deep sleep. That's why we don't get as much REM sleep. Because the body is in a stressed out state, and it's like, whoa, fuck, like, We need food right now. And it's funny because, like, you know, when we look at people who are lean and we're like, oh man, they look pretty good. Like, the body inside is like, oh fuck, like, we're depleted. Because again, the body wants to store body fat, right? Body fat is good for us in the long term because in periods of famine, we can live, okay? We have enough energy as our body fat to live for a long time, a lot of people, right? Like a long time, but like weeks of utilizing body fat. The heavier you are, the more body fat you have, the more energy you have to use as energy when you are starving. So the body, when you are sleeping, when you are dieting and you're in a big deprived state, that's why sleep turns to shit, okay? So it'll increase your sleep because now you're fed and you'll sleep better. You will have better hormone function and fertility, okay? We know hands down, the further you go into a diet, the lower your sex hormones will drop, okay? You will not be like, unless you're on steroids or anything, you're not going to get boners in the morning if you're a guy. If you're a girl, same thing, you're going to have low libido. Again, overall, like, libido is going to fucking go down because the body's now going to say, oh, no, we don't want to have sex right now. We don't want to reproduce. We need to keep this motherfucker alive, right? That's the first function. Turn off sex hormones. We don't need sex right now. We need food to keep alive, okay? So when you eat enough food, you're going to have a higher libido. You're going to have better energy. You're going to have your testosterone, your estrogen, everything back in relatively the right levels, okay? Because you're eating enough to, you're eating enough and also getting enough fat in your body to actually produce sex steroids for the most part. What else? Also, ghrelin, leptin. So these things, so ghrelin, you think about your stomach growling, you know, when you're hungry, that's basically ghrelin increase to signal hunger, okay? Leptin is something that's going to decrease hunger. So they're kind of like, in a way, they're kind of counteracting hormones, but they're not. Then you've got like a few other ones that I can't think off the top of my head. They're like the two main ones. But again, you know, they're also regulated when you are eating enough food. So you actually will not have periods of time where you're super hungry. You may get hungry here and then, but you're not going to be as hungry. You're going to be full for the most part. Hair stops falling out. I've had a few clients who are like, hey, this is weird. My hair stopped falling out because I'm eating more food. Like, that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, things like that, like losing your menstrual cycle, your hair falling out, you know, having no libido, that is the sign of not eating enough food, and the body's like, we need to prioritize living. Who gives a fuck about hair growth? We're going to not send nutrients to our fucking hair, and you're going to lose it. Literally is what that's doing. It's like, this is not important for us right now. So females are grabbing chunks of their fucking hair out. We don't need to reproduce right now. Switch off the period. Switch off the sex steroids for guys. Lower the libido, all right? It's basically an emergency function. Mental focus. I've had so many people tell me, I can concentrate better at work. I have more work capacity. I have more energy. I feel more clear-headed. I don't get mental fatigue anymore. You know, eating more food. Every single thing will benefit you if you eat enough food, all right? And this is why I'm hammering that point home, because so many fucking people get scared about eating. And I promise you, it is the best thing you can do is to have as high of maintenance calories as possible, okay? And that's by using my formula, right? This is for general pop. If you're an athlete, use the formula, but then you've also got to add in your heart rate and stuff like that. When I say athlete, you're not a bodybuilder. Okay, I'm not classing bodybuilders as athlete here. Sorry, but I'm not, all right? We're talking about people who could be distance runners. We're talking about people who could be field athletes. We're talking about people who are going to be training for, you know, if we think about in a week, you're going to be doing over 10 hours of training a week for the most part. So a lot of people are doing 2-a-day sessions. Or if you are doing a session, like if you're a cyclist, you're cycling for an hour and a half to 3 hours at a time, maybe even longer. You know, lots of calorie expenditure from training is what I would class as an athlete. If you lift weights and you just lift weights, you're not an athlete, all right? Don't take that the wrong way. It's just like, it just means that you are not burning as many calories from exercise as someone who, what's what I'm trying to think of here? I don't know, as someone who is doing that, I guess. Fuck, you know, who's an athlete. Like, I don't consider, when I just lifted weights, I didn't consider myself an athlete. I consider myself an athlete now because I run. Oh, I don't run. That's a lie. I swim, I cycle, I box. I do a lot of, you know, I do 12 sessions a week, right? I consider myself an athlete, okay? If you're doing, like, you know, if you're someone who's training with weights and you're also cycling 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you're an athlete, all right? Basically, if you're doing weights and something else that's cardiovascularly demanding and you actually take it seriously, you're an athlete, all right? And if you're just lifting weights, you're not, but it's okay. You don't have to be an athlete. That's what I'm just saying. Just two different people. Fuck me dead. People get so much and fucking upset about it. Oh, but you're saying if I don't do this, I don't. Like, yes, man. It's the same as my job. I can do 2 day sessions a week. I can do 20,000 steps a day. I can eat 4,700 calories a day. And people are like, oh, that's not fair. It's not fucking fair. This is my job. This is my career. You know, I have created this. Like, so this works for me. Some of you have more money than me. Some of you have a better family life than me. Some of you have better relationships. Some of you, get to travel the world. Some of you get to do... Everyone's going to have different levels. I'm going on a rant here. But everyone's going to have different fucking, areas where they're better at. For me, I get the benefits of being able to train a lot, of being able to get my steps up, and being able to eat a lot of food. That's my benefit, all right? And I'm fucking happy with it. Don't complain, because everyone's got something better than someone else, all right? So, again, you're not an athlete, it's fucking okay. I don't care. But, again, I'm laughing at myself, we're off tangent. At the end of the day, again, go back to eating as much calories as you can, because it's such an important thing, right? And a lot of you need to just get out of the fucking dieting mentality for a bit, right? You're like, oh, but, I need to lose some body fat. Just work at eating at maintenance for a while. Because I bet you a lot of you who are listening to this have been trying to fucking diet more than 15 months, right? Give or take. You try and diet, you fucking can't. You try and diet, you can't. You try and diet, you can't. You tell yourself you get back on track on Monday, you don't do it. You tell yourself you get back on track next week, you don't fucking do it. You try and diet, Christmas comes, you fall off track, you're starting again January 1st, you might have already fallen off track again. It's all the same shit. So just stop trying to fucking diet and eat some food, for Christ's sake, right? And when you start to eat food, guess what's going to happen? Then it's going to make dieting easier. Because again, you're someone who's on 1,800 calories, right? Let's go back to this female. You're a female who's on 2,150 calories. You follow my thing. You do it for 2 weeks, okay? 2,150 calories for 2 weeks. You're a female who's 65 kilos, so on average you should be losing about 300-ish grams a week, okay? What you are maintaining on is now your deficit of a 300 calorie deficit, okay? How fucking good is that? You're now going to lose on the calories that you were maintaining on before. I have so many females who are heavier, 85 kilos plus. They've been dieting under 1,000 calories. They're all under 1,000, sorry, that's a lie. Under 2,000 calories. So, low 15s, low 14s, low 1300s. I've got clients now who are dieting on higher than their maintenance calories, who are dieting on maintenance calories, or who are still dieting, below what their actual maintenance was, but higher than what their deficit was. Just because we did some simple math, we ate at their maintenance for 2 weeks. That's all I ask people to do. Figure this equation out, eat at maintenance for 2 weeks, right? You're not gonna fucking gain body fat at 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, predict your deficit from there and go into the deficit, and I can guarantee you there's a very, very high chance you're gonna be able to diet on a lot of higher calories than you actually think, okay? And what have you got to lose? Because a lot of you who listen to this have tried the same shit over and over and over again, and you get no results. So try something different. Try and listen to me. Okay? What do I know? I'm just this is just my job. This is just what I do for a living, right? And here's the biggest thing. A lot of you think you have to diet lower because who do you follow on Instagram? You follow fucking idiots on Instagram. You follow dumb girls and men, sorry, not definitely going to be biased there, dumb men and dumb women, but unfortunately with the females, they are more inclined to eat less, right? A lot of guys aren't they are body comp focused, but a lot of females, it's the whole stigma with females, especially with the fucking bodybuilding community at the moment and the dieting bullshit. Who do you look up to? Let's think about the girls who are at the high echelon, the ones that have a lot of followers. Look at how many of them eat fucking rabbit food. Or don't eat above 2,000 calories, 2,200 calories. And then they're dieting on fucking 1,600. And how often do we see them dieting? All the time. When do we not see them dieting? Or when we see them in a build phase, who has gained more than 2.5 kilos in a build phase as a female? Who's higher? Right? I'm talking about the bodybuilding community here, They're always talking about, I'm in my off season, I'm in my bulk phase. And you look what they're eating, you're eating fucking 2,100 calories. And meanwhile, these chicks are 65, 67 kilos. But then I've got females who are 54 kilos who are eating 2,800 calories a day. And they're not gaining, they're maintaining, right? And it's just because, again, everyone's following the same fucking thing. Everyone follows the same equation, right? Everyone follows all the girls that are eating the low calories and the high fucking, high maple syrup diet. Not maple syrup diet, sorry. High, like, the Steve's fucking sugar-free maple syrup and all the dieting foods and all that shit. They're depleting themselves, they're under-eating, they're fucking running gear for the most part, right? Running steroids, running oral anabar because it's easy, you can't test it, they're not going to get caught, it doesn't make him look huge. They do all these things and they fucking starve themselves, Like, I look at so many fitfluencers and I look at their calories and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, And again, if they're doing it and you're looking at them and you're like, oh, well, I want to look like her, or, oh, yeah, she's doing it this way, maybe I should. They're just uninformed. They're literally uninformed. None of them have high nutrition education. None of them have high fucking PT education. None of them could even tell you how the fucking Krebs cycle works for the most part, right? Don't even worry about that. Like, that's just something it's just in depth when it comes to nutrition. But none of them can tell you half the shit. But they know how to fucking recommend you a supplement, right? Or they know how to show you a day on their plate eating rabbit food. So it's like, don't follow the dickheads, okay? They may have like I say this all the time, Instagram's everyone's highlights. They do not know what they're talking about, all right? And I'm not saying I'm the end all, know all, be all, because fucking oath, I do not. Every time I do a new course and stuff like that, I realize how little I know. When I did my graduate diploma, I was like, whoa, man, there are some fucking smart people here. When I got my coach, nutrition coach, she's a dietitian and a researcher, Zoya, I'm like, whoa, man, she knows a lot, right? And I will always listen to people who are more educated than me, all right? But here's the thing. I'm a lot more educated than a lot of the fitfluencers out there because they don't educate. They literally just want to fucking look good, and that's all they do. And so it's like, education plays such a big part. And when you're educated, and when you actually know what you're talking about, you may have a lot of followers, you may not, but you just will do things differently. And that's why we see all the time the people who are on Instagram, the fucking people with thousands of followers and who are doing dumb shit all the time, but because they have followers, people look after them, all right? So avoid doing the dumb shit. Listen to what I have to say. What have you got to lose? Would you like to eat more food? Would you like to be better? Would you like to feel better? Would you have like more mental focus? Would you like your stop hair falling out? Would you like your period back? Would you like a guy who, if you're a guy, would you like more libido? Would you like more energy? So many benefits to eating food. So please, I urge you, get more food in your diet, in your life, and maintain on higher calories. Cool? So, fuck, man, 42 minutes. I haven't done a podcast like this in a while, this long, but it is important, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you guys did enjoy it, please share it on Instagram. I would really appreciate it because I want more people to listen. And make sure you tag me. And as always, if you have any questions, hit me up at tysonthetrainerr with 2 R's on Instagram, or the website tysonthetrainerr.com with 1 R or 2 R's. And until next time, guys, I will speak to you then.